IVM.
Welcome to Absolutely Right. I'm your host Aditi Surana. Today's conversation is a crucial part of our everyday life. No matter how talented you are, how many resources you have at your disposal, or how great your idea is, being able to make the right decision is the key to your success, or as I would say, to your progress and your growth. This week on episode number 53, I interviewed a thought leader and global strategic design director for one of Wipro's vertical called Design It, Mr. Uday Padmanabhan.
I think it is a way of thinking. It is a way of life probably to really look at it. So in design thinking, what we do is we don't look at problems as problems. We look at problem statements into something that we call as opportunity spaces. It's all reframing. A lot of self-help gurus, new age gurus, science and, research, everything tells the same thing. It's about that constant conversation that you have with yourself. And you can have that only when you're aware of what's happening with you, unattached.
In today's short episode, let's explore following things. 1. Can we really make right decisions every single time? Second, is there any method to this decision-making madness? And third, if yes, what are the steps? If you're new here, let me fill you in. Absolutely Right Friday episodes are designed to create actionable change. With every episode, we create a worksheet, or as we call it, Friday Fun Sheet, for you to commit to growth and take actions. This is a PDF document that you can download from my website, aditisurana.com/podcast. In my regular coaching sessions, I commonly witness this decision-making struggle. From finding the Mr. Right career choice, right business move, to, is this right diet for me? Should I work from home today or go to the office? What should I wear? We keep making hundreds of decisions, significant and insignificant, on daily basis. Do you choose from your heart or your head? What is objective decision making? What do I do with all my anxiety about falling and failing? How about my overthinking? I know your thoughts are racing right now. But let's take a moment and compare decision making to taking a trip. Once I was driving to Goa with my friends. We all had different opinions on which route we should take. We all had driven to Goa prior to this trip, so we had our own independent logic to support our opinion. Now, it was tough to choose one person's opinion over the other, especially when you knew that no one was entirely right or entirely wrong. Sounds like our regular decision-making conundrum, isn't it? After discussing what one should do for about 20 minutes, one of us started the GPS map. Really, that's it. That solved our biggest confusion. I know we can't have a live satellite data capturing mechanism like Google to help us make our everyday decisions, but that doesn't mean we have to live without any mechanism at all. Today's 5-step decision-making process will become your own GPS to make your personal decisions. It will give you some options and help you evaluate which one would you like to choose. I say these 3 things often in my sessions. There are no right or wrong decisions. There are decisions and there are consequences. And lastly, no decision is a final decision as long as you're alive. Take a moment to ponder on this. Even if you make the best possible decision, the right decision, it is valid only for that situation. And then when you hit the next crossroad again, you'll have to make a new decision. Or on the other hand, if you make the worst possible decision ever, then that will also be valid for that situation. And then when you hit the next crossroad, you will have to make a new decision again. You may say, but Aditi, what if I make a wrong decision and jump from the 10th floor? I will hurt myself and this is irreversible. I agree. But honestly ask yourself, how many decisions are about life and death? Most decisions are pulling you between one consequence over the other. Should I work with Google or Microsoft? Choose investment with 12% low risk or 21% high risk. Should you marry her or date for 6 more months? Comparing one outcome over other is the biggest catch in decision making. I know I'm de-glamorizing your story with this approach, but we are really spending all our time deliberating and overthinking about multiple choice questions. So basically, we are in this lifelong Kaun Banega Crorepati situation. That is an Indian adaptation for Who Will Be a Millionaire, with some multiple choice questions that keep haunting you. In 2006, I came across this concept called design thinking. As part of my work, I'm often asked to be part of brand identity creation process. Like analyzing people, I get to decode the persona of an organization by conducting sessions with their leadership team. And after I get my own clarity, I work with designers to get the logo done. I must say that I have been privileged to work with some really creative and brilliant minds. I have learned a lot from them. Besides understanding what makes a good design, I have learned a problem-solving concept called design thinking. I have adapted that concept to my coaching modules, and here are the 5 steps to make really effective decisions. Point number 1, identify the problem and ask the right questions. This is really important. Why is this happening to me? When will my mother stop being so stubborn? Who is responsible for this issue? These are not the right questions. I know these are more familiar questions, but not the right ones. A Japanese author, Haruki Murakami, once wrote, "Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. When you ask these wrong questions, you literally increase your suffering. To deal with the pain, instead you can ask questions like, how can I solve this puzzle? What do I require to do here? Mind you, not what you desire, not what you wish or what you like, but what do you require to do here to find the solution?" Point number 2, list all alternatives. Wait, don't jump and act on the first thing that comes to your mind. List all your options. If you're struggling in a relationship, then your options are either you accept the problem and live with it without doing anything about it. Second, you consider therapy or other solutions and work on your differences as a team. Or third, you part ways. Most people feel confused or trapped in their situation because they cannot think of any other option to solve the problem. Point number 3, collect information and imagine implications. This is a tricky one. All emotions come surging here. You may convince yourself to do things that are comfortable for you or convenient for you. So please collect data. Talk to experts, people who have been there, done this, even strangers who are willing to share their knowledge. If you're planning to start a business, then talking to other people in this field could be a good idea. Look at each option on your list and ask all these questions. A, what all can happen if I choose this? What is the worst case scenario here? B, what will I do to deal with it? C, how do I feel about it? And fourth, very, very important one, D, is it still worth a shot? Please be honest with yourself at this stage. Find out how you truly feel about it. Just by asking these questions, you'll be surprised to discover the unbelievable amount of clarity that you already have about your situation. I feel when you're willing to own your decision after weighing all the consequences, your insecurity reduces drastically. Point number 4, choose from the options and act on it. Set a timeline and take actions. So many people keep thinking about the solutions over and over again. Great solutions won't solve your problem. Implementing great solutions will. Point number 5, critique the process. Critiquing does not mean criticizing. You look at your decisions and ask, how can I improve myself the next time? How can I improve the solution next time? Next time being the operative word here. What else can I do? I meet people who keep overthinking, ruminating about, how could this happen? Why did it go wrong? Why can't they pay attention? Who is to blame? Let me tell you, every time you ask, how can I improve myself next time? You will grow. You will see the gaps that are not available to you in the moment. You get up and you prepare more. You stay committed to the process over the result. High performers ask this question religiously when they fail, that how can I improve myself? But more importantly, they ask this question when they succeed to make their game even better. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Absolutely Right. Please share it with someone who is struggling with their decision making. Tell me in the comment section what part of this episode was helpful for you. And do not forget to rate the episode. Share your experiences and send your questions to me on my Instagram handle @AditiSurana. And to know more about my work and services, visit aditisurana.com. If you like this podcast, then don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Let's connect on Wednesday. Till then, happy writing.
I hope you enjoyed that show. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Intel, for coming back to us. We love our sponsors. If you'd like to be one of them, do reach out. So really, really cool week on the network this week, right? Started off with a bang. Abhijit Ganguly was on Cyrus Says. Funny comedian. I think you guys will enjoy that. We had Dimant Parekh on Advertising is Dead. Dimant's the founder of Better India. Govindraj Athiraj is also on Uncle Please Sit this week. That's a really fascinating show which they talk about fake news. On The Habit Coach, there was a crossover event with Aditi Surana from Absolutely Right. I think you definitely enjoyed that. And last but not least, definitely a show I'd love you all to check out. We have a new show called This Round Is On Me. It's hosted by Gauri Devi Dayal. If you remember, Gauri and I worked on a show together called The Kolaba Cartel a while ago. Fun show. If you haven't checked that out, do check that out. But this is a show where she's talking to a lot of different people in the food space. Her first guest is Harsh Mariwala, a legend in his own time. I think you'll really, really enjoy that show. But with that, we hope to see you again next week.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.